Here's a little airborne story for you. My very first jump in division, I get to the 82nd Airborne, and I'm like, all right. I'm excited. The high from jump school's still there. I realized at jump school after doing two jumps in a day or three jumps in a day, whatever it was, like, okay, this actually hurts. But you got that high of being a fresh AIT soldier. You're ready to go to your unit, the real army, or what you think the real army will be. The 82nd being its own subsect. That's a story for another time. And it's just like, all right, month in, I get it, my first jump in division. It's a Black Hawk jump and it's a foreign jump as well. I get Chilean jump wings out of it, and it's a Black Hawk jump, and it's Hollywood, not even combat. This is the best thing ever. It's windy. There's two birds. It's whatever. We do the jump. I land. Hardest landing I've had in my out of any jump in the military. I have however many jumps I got. That was my hardest jump I ever had, which is funny enough. But I got drug maybe 70 meters or something. Uh, and I couldn't I was trying to release my canopy assembles, which I kept them on your shoulders or near your shoulders. Couldn't release them. They were being pulled so tightly by the wind. Couldn't get them out. Uh, and the only reason I was able to get out is because my parachute got stuck on a bush eventually, a very small bush in the middle of this flat drop zone. It's miles. It's like, I don't know, a mile thick by 2 or 3 miles long or something like that. However big it is, they're massive, just massive plots of land that are mostly cut down and mowed or whatever. My friend, he he woke he told me this afterwards. He hit the ground, was knocked unconscious, woke up to being drugged. Didn't say anything because we were both medics, and he was just like, "I'm just gonna check myself out later." Reality, should have got himself seen, but we were both fresh medics. We were scared to be injured or whatever. We just wanted to show off. Oh yeah, we're strong. We're ready to do stuff. We're tough. We walk back together. It's chill. It's whatever. Well, it turned out to be because the day seemed beautiful. There's some kids there sitting at there's a bleachers where like family this is the one drop zone where there's bleachers for civilians to come to. So there's some family members with their kids or whatever watching the jumps, and I'm not gonna mention names or anything because I don't feel like it. But basically, one person's been missing for a little over an hour, and my I'm a medic and our group's medics, so they're like, hey, can you go out and look for this person? And we're like, sure. I mean, they're medics out there with their truck. I'm like, I don't know why they can't just do their job, but whatever. Yeah, we'll go look for them. We look for them. I'm not the one that found them, but one of my friend found them, and unfortunately this person was deceased, passed away. um, so funny enough, instead of using a Black Hawk there, they call in another Black Hawk with flight medics, but the person was long gone. And I had a 9 month break in jumps after that. Uh, but the only reason it was 9 months is so like 3 or 4 months later, I get put on this jump. I haven't jumped in 4 months or whatever, or no, yeah. And it was a nighttime combat, so this was a big change. This was daytime Hollywood, which is where you're jumping without combat equipment, no rucksack, easy and light as it can be. And this is a nighttime combat. I am the second to last person. There's one person. There's one person behind me. That's it. And I'm just like, dude, we've been in this bird all this time, so long. It sucks. You're heavy and tired. Let me just get out of this bird. My medics are the ones pulling drop zone coverage. I was the only one up in the bird. We go to jump. Everyone's literally. You know, I would literally before every single jump I've always given a short prayer to God, just saying, hey, thanks for everything. If something goes wrong, like, I don't know, thanks for life. I got, even, I mean, I'm not perfect, but dude, you're scared up there because, man, it's not natural to jump out of a plane. Nothing's natural about that. Not even nothing is natural. It's a plane. They're supposed to be up in the sky, man. Like, whew. But I say my prayer. I get hyped. I get piped. I get pumped up. I'm ready. I'm hyped. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to jump. And so person goes, person goes, person goes. I'm like, all right, we're gonna get out of this bird. You're gonna get out of this bird. And then the person in front of me gets red lighted, and I was so pissed. And it's just like, all right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go around. We're gonna go around again. And it's just me, one person in front of me, one behind me, and then our jump master, who's my commander, and he's gonna jump after we jump out. We're ready to go. It's red lighted. We're ready to go. We're waiting. We're on standby. I'm hyped. The adrenaline's going. I'm like, I gotta get out of this bird. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I gotta go, go, go. Stays red lighted. We sit down. We get back. We walk out the back at a C-130. Feeling pathetic, and I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm a jump refusal. I would never do that. Even if it's terrifying, you're still gonna do the jump. I walk over to the side, set down my stuff. I chill for maybe about 10 minutes, mostly just being a little lost and confused because I'm like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be right now because I was supposed to be out there. Now I'm not. I have to figure out where to put my parachute and all that and unrig myself properly and not lose any equipment because, your rings and all that and the equipment to attach your ruck to the air stuff and everything's complicated. Don't lose any of it. Get that sorted out. And then someone's like, hey, the people start finally making their way over and they're like, hey, Doc, you should come check someone out. I go check him out. They're like, hey, this guy, what's going on, man? He hit his head, feels nauseous. All right, I do a little exam. I'm like, I'm still a fresh medic at this point. I'm still pretty fresh, just putting myself together. It's like, all right, the main things. Do you know where you're at? What's going on? What do you see? And then, I get this guy. I check him out. I'm like, all right, you don't got a TBI. You're not exhibiting symptoms. Nice. I move on to the next person. And then it's like, hey, Doc, can you come over here? One dude has a laceration going all the way around his neck. It didn't penetrate the skin, but it was horrible. It's super like how sometimes if you get in a car crash or something, you stop the car super fast, the seatbelt will rupture against your skin or whatever. It was a nice little laceration on the surface. And it looked horrible. I covered it with Bacitracin and put some stuff over it. Bacitracin is just army grade Neosporin. Cool. And then they're like, hey, Doc, come look at this guy. Another TBI dude. And then I finish up him. I got another TBI dude. I had 8 TBI dudes that I was just checking out back to back to back to back. And then we get back and I'm like, all right, you guys need to go to the ER. And then they were like, no, we're not doing that. And I was just like, you could be really messed up here. And they're like, nah, I'm going home. And I'm in fresh new medic. My leadership's not with me. They're at the drop zone. I have no power over them. Half these dudes were all of them were high upper NCOs, or back then I thought they were upper NCOs, or first lieutenants or something, officers. In reality, I just made sure I followed up with them the next day, and it was what it was. Some of them went to the ER, some of them just waited till it went away. But that was definitely just interesting of just because it's so annoying when you finally commit to the door and you're ready to just send it. You don't care what happens to yourself. You go to jump, you don't jump, get down on the ground. It turns out I was super lucky not to jump because everyone was getting TBIs, or undiagnosed TBIs for most of them, but a lot of people were really messed up in the head, quite literally. And then just the dude that had his neck absolutely messed the hell up, and I saw him with the scar. It looked basically like a scar on his neck. I don't know, for a couple of weeks before it finally started healing itself up.